So, as the screen says, welcome to the Sunday how-to. I mentioned earlier on in the message that I was going to be talking all about crypto today. So let's get ourselves started on talking about crypto mining, and particularly crypto mining for growth and security. Because excuse me, last couple of months with wealth generators, we've been talking about crypto everywhere we go. And we're telling everybody that everyone is out there buying crypto. But I don't know about you guys, when I talk to people about buying crypto, I do come across objections. And one of the first objections I come about is talking about the fact that crypto is unstable. And unstable is the wrong word. Volatile is really the right word. And there's no two ways about it. It is volatile. I found this particular screenshot online, or I've adapted it, as you can see. But I found this screenshot online today, and it's showing Bitcoin over the last 12 months. And it hit a high point in 2017. Bitcoin, way up here, my cursor's there, was just hovering, just a little bit short of $20,000. Beginning of this year, we were up, hitting $12,000. It dropped to under 8. And now we've pulled back and it's about $8,500. Now that's all Bitcoin, but excuse me, when people think of cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin is the first name that comes to mind for everybody. Now, it doesn't really matter what level you come in at, whether you come in at this level here or whether you come in way down here, you can still make money buying and selling cryptocurrencies as long as you buy at a low point and you sell higher. The only thing is, you've got to keep watching these trades day in, day out. And if you'd bought 6 weeks ago, today your heart will be sinking. So if you've got the stomach for it, great. If you're going to buy it, then forget it for the next 2-3 years, then that's going to be cool and you're probably going to be fine. However, there's an alternative, because the safe alternative, as far as I'm concerned, is mining cryptocurrency. And that's what our main crypto product is all about, mining. So this is why it's safer. I took this screenshot as a real life screenshot from a friend's cell phone who has a $5,000 crypto contract that he set up just a little before Christmas. I'm just looking, I've got a chat message. I've got to take a peek. It's Brian. Evening, Brian. So, as far as this was concerned, the most important thing is you can see that if you've got a crypto contract, the amount that you're profiting from it on a day-to-day basis will vary, but it doesn't really, the varying doesn't matter. You got a high here, 23, 27, 27 on one day, then down the day after to 22, and then up to 22.62 up here, and it hovers about a few cents of difference. The thing that's consistent, and it's the consistency that matters with Ethereum, but the thing that's consistent is this. If you mine crypto, my cursor stopped working. Why does it stop working? There we go. If you're mining crypto, every day you're going to get paid. Bear in mind, we mine 4 different cryptocurrencies, but we only pay out in Ethereum. But with our mining contracts, you pay out consistently 0.018399 of an Ethereum coin on a daily basis. Forget about how many dollars it's making, because that's just today's price for that fraction of an Ethereum contract. And today's price only counts to you on the day that you sell it. The most important thing is that every day you are consistently earning just short of 0.02 of an Ethereum coin. If you calculate that over 1,200 days, and I've chosen 1,200 days for obvious reasons, because when we first brought out our crypto contract, every contract ran for 1,200 days. We all know now that we've improved that and we've changed it so that our contract is a lifetime contract. And the lifetime contract means as long as that system is working, you'll keep getting paid. You could get paid instead of 1,200 days. That could run for for a full 4 years, and you might be getting paid for more than 1,300 days. We put a minimum of 1,000 days on it. So if a contract fell short, if something went wrong with your equipment after 600 days, don't worry about it. Company's going to cover you. They're going to keep paying you anyway. But on average, I'm going to still stay with the 1,200 day figure for the sake of calculations. If you stayed with it for 1,200 days, after 1,200 days, you would have earned 22 Ethereum. Now today, Ethereum is at a pretty low point. It's at $552. It had an all-time high of 1,417. A leading question is, how much do you think Ethereum is going to be worth in 2021, 1,200 days from now? And this is where I want a bit of feedback from you guys. So let's have some feedback from you, because you've been working with this for a couple of months now. You've been watching the fluctuation. You've been watching different people's opinions on where Ethereum is going to be. Where do we reckon Ethereum is likely to be in 4 years' time? Any numbers, guys?
Nearly $250,000.
For a single coin? Be nice, don't see it happening, but nice. I'm talking about per individual coin. What do we reckon a single coin is going to be worth?
About 5,000, roughly, I assume, in minimum.
$5,000, okay.
Yeah.
I've heard different opinions floated about. It's only a matter of a couple of weeks since the Wall Street Journal were predicting Ethereum at $20,000 by the end of 2020. Now, I've heard wild predictions, and I've heard 20,000, and I've heard 10,000, and I've heard people saying it's going to fall way, way short. It hits an all-time high of $1,400. I want to use, for some calculations here, I want to use a number, and I want to agree on a number that I think is going to be safe. So, beginning of this year, Ethereum was at $1,200. As I said, it's been higher than that, but the beginning of this year is $1,200. Do we think it's fair to say that in the space of the next 3 years, Ethereum is going to bounce back to at least that $1,200 mark? Do we think that's a safe number to think about? Yeah?
It's safe. Yeah, it's safe. Considering now it's going through the rocky stages and trying to deal with all of the regulatory issues that's been applied to all cryptocurrencies. I think once that's all of that is done with, all of that is priced in, then chances are it's going to bounce back to a higher level.
I think you're probably right, Horace. I think it's going to bounce back to a higher level than that as well. But I wanted to do some maths here, and I wanted to do the numbers at a safe level. So I stuck with $1,200 for these calculations. So if we assume that we have 22.07, well, there's no assumption there. You are going to have, take this figure at the side, every day, this contract, you're mining 0.0183399 of an Ethereum coin. After 1,200 days, you will have 22.0788 Ethereum coins. At $1,200 per coin, that means you're going to have $22,493. Now, that contract was a $5,000 contract. In addition to the $5,000 for purchasing the contract, there's a $99.99 setup fee. So you've put a cent short of $600 into it, and you're getting back close on $26,500. That's an increase of 519%. Now, I went on to compound interest calculator on the net to figure it out. And if you wanted to match that return on any other way of investing, you would have to find something that paid compound interest at a rate in excess of 74% a year. Now, I don't have to ask the question. We know it's ridiculous to find anybody that is going to pay you that kind of a return. That, you know, you're going to be lucky today to find 1.5% interest, let alone 74%.
That is true.
So what we have with mining is a safe investment. With trading crypto, if you want to go buy Bitcoin, Ethereum, Light, Dash, Ripple, whatever you want, you could lose your shirt. You could put $20,000 in, and all of a sudden, the bottom falls out of it. You need your money for whatever you need, and you're forced to sell. You could get back half of what you put in, or less still, if you were forced to sell at an unfortunate time. If, however, you buy one of our mining contracts and you let it run, then you've leased a mining contract and you would have had 22 coins for the cost of just buying one single Ethereum coin today. So we can get started a contract for just $5.99. And none of that has taken into consideration the real term growth of Ethereum. Because if your number's right at $5,000, Horace, then we're not talking about $26,000. We're talking about $100,000.
Right.
And I think you're probably still on the conservative side at $5,000.
Right.
So there is a phenomenal growth opportunity here. And it's a safe investment as well. And that's what we need to try to get across to people when they say to us that crypto is unpredictable, volatile, everything else. Yes, it's volatile. It's also relatively predictable, but it is definitely volatile. But if we're mining, we don't have to worry about the volatility because we're actually creating crypto. We're not trading it and trading fixed amounts and hoping to buy and sell at the right time. We're actually mining. We're actually creating more crypto than existed on the day that we got involved in this business. So how are we going to use this to explain it to other people? Well, we can already show, just using this little bit as well, and this is going to be a video, so it's going to be something that you can show to people. We can already show people why they should buy our contracts, because we know now that that's a safe investment, and we know how to explain it as a safe investment. But what about people who we want to explain why they should be showing this to other people, selling other people on the business, and selling contracts for us? So essentially recruiting new distributors to our business. Well, because we have something that is easy to sell. First and foremost, you can get started with a crypto pack for payments of just $5.99 a month. $5.99 one-off payment. $5.99 as a one-off payment for a crypto pack that runs for a lifetime contract. That's costing you a few dollars more than a single coin today. And we have a number of contracts. Generator contract being the first one, step up, you go into $1,099. Then the $99.99 at the end is the setup fee. But effectively, we're talking about $500, $1,000, $2,500, and $5,000 for a variety of contracts. Now, apart from the person who's buying it, who is getting a good investment, so we're doing people a favor by spreading the news there, you also stand to get paid. And the company has revised the payment plan and the bonus plan for these. Since they launched at the beginning of this year, if you'd originally bought yourself an original generator pack, $500 pack, that paid 60 PV, and it paid a $30 bonus. Today, it pays $100. 100 points for point value for our compensation plan, but it also pays a bonus bonus payment that works on a sliding scale. If you are a guaranteed generator, which is the first step, if you've gone to business builder, which is the second step, or executive business builder, which is the third step, then you all fit in the beginner bonus pack. Once you've gone to the builder bonus, now to get to the builder bonus, you have to be a platinum distributor. A platinum distributor means you need 67 people in your team. Now, 67 people in your team it's not the easiest of things to do, but it's certainly not the hardest of things to do. All of us have been involved in network marketing in the past. All of us have built teams in the past. And building a team of 67 people with this pay plan should be something that's achievable in the space of 3 to 4 months. I'm 2.5 months into this business right now, and I am absolutely convinced that I will hit that level by the end of next month. Once you reach that level, if anybody in your team sells a crypto pack, they will get their $30 bonus. You'll get $10 because the company's going to pay you $40 for everyone that you normally sell. And if you're selling it, you're going to get $40 yourself, but anyone in your team sells it, they'll get their $30, you'll get the remaining $10. And when you step up to, I think you have to be at global to get to the mentor bonus, which is 10%. By the time you get up to that level, you're going to get $50 for every single pack that you sell yourself. But if anyone in your team sells one at $30, you get $20 for everything they sell. If any one of those, anywhere in between, you have someone who's a business builder, then they'll get 10 and you'll get 10. But the company will pay out $50 in total in bonuses just for a basic $500 pack. And as you step through buying $1,000 packs, $2,500 packs, and $5,000 packs, you're finding it easier and easier to make more and more money. Sell a $5,000 pack, and you've got a $300 bonus. Now, the interesting thing is in this first column here, the point value. Because if you look at the point values, we've got 100 points there, we've got 200 points there, 400 and 800 points. Now, in our pay plan, the magic number that we're trying to get to for everybody is get to 9 people in their team so they can qualify for a $500 bonus. The reason we came up with a number of 9 people in your team is you have to have a total of 1,300 volume points to get to the next level. Now, your all-in pack when you signed up pays 100 or earns $150 bonus points or volume points on the pay plan. If you come in today as a brand new distributor and you find 3 people who can put in $2,500 into a crypto pack that stands to make them, those numbers I quoted before, that $26,500 was based on a $5,000 pack. So if you find someone who puts in $2,500, they're going to be looking, using the numbers we quoted before, they're going to be looking at an earnings potential of at least $13,000 in 3.5 years from a $2,500 spend. More importantly, you've just earned 400 points here. Now, when you've got these 400 points, if you find 3 of those people, they've all got the potential of making a small fortune, but you've got 400 times 3, plus your own 150 points for signing up in the first instance, puts you at 350. Now, let's do some more maths. 3 people all buying that will earn you $450 here, just in beginner bonuses. In addition to the beginner bonuses, you would qualify for a $500 royalty bonus. So now you're at $950, but you would also get $250 if you can do that in the first 30 days. So now you're at $1,200 in your first 30 days, and all you've found is 3 people to join your business. You're at $1,200 already. We have people coming into our business today, here in the UK and over in the States, who are selling this package hand over fist. If you want this package here, the Premier package, if you sell that, you need to sell just 5 of those packages to step up to the next rank, where you get a royalty bonus of $1,000. So if you were to sell 5 of those in your first month, you would actually have $1,000 in royalty bonus. You'd have $1,500 in beginners bonuses, plus another $250. So you'd actually have $2,750 in your first month, and you've only put 5 people in your team. That's how crypto has reshaped the business that we had when we started 10, 11 weeks back. It's changed and got better and better and better. Week in, week out, week in, week out. And people haven't been explaining this in these simple terms. So, our job right now is literally just to use whatever connections we have, and the majority of these connections are done on your phone. You know, these days, people tend not to talk to each other as much as they used to. There are people out there who will teach us how to use our phones to make contacts. Sending text messages out, sending Facebook Messenger messages out, whatever it may be, but finding some way of contacting people with the phone that usually sits in your pocket doing nothing. Just take it out, tap some words out, reach the people that you know, literally all around the globe. We're not just tied to the USA, we're not just tied to the UK. Since we got started, my own business has gone from the USA and Canada to the UK, to Denmark, to Belgium, across into, where's the last one I hit? Macedonia, a couple of days ago. It's going literally all over the world. I have people on the go, I have prospects on the go in Australia. I've got prospects on the go over in Africa, 2 different places in Africa, and it's spreading like crazy. And it all comes from just tapping buttons on our phones. What we need to be doing is spreading this word far and wide. I've gone through this a little quicker than I thought I was going to be going through it, but from what I've just gone through, is there any questions that anybody has? Is there anything anyone would like me to go back over?
Yes, this is Horace. Just a quick question on the 1,000, on the 1,200 days versus the lifetime.
Yes.
For the contract. There's some might have some doubts about what does lifetime mean. I know it's supposed to be better than the 1,200 days, but since it's not specified, what lifetime, how lifetime is defined,
Okay.
some might have some doubts about that.
Okay, it came about because we'd originally priced everything on the basis of 1,200 days. I don't know how 1,200 days came up, whether it was an arbitrary number that someone came up with, but the cost of the material, of the machinery that Wealth Generators invested in, they got a price for the entire package. And then they decided, okay, we need to split that cost into X number of bundles in order to be able to cover our own costs. So this is how many contracts we need to sell to get our own money back. And to put the two together, they came up with a figure of 1,200 days. If we sold contracts for 1,200 days, everybody gets a fair return on their money and we get our money back and we make profit on it, and they have X amount of profit left over. The uptake on the sale has been much, much greater than they originally anticipated it being. So much so they're in a position that they could go back to our hardware providers, not the software providers, because the majority of the software that we use is open source. Most mining software you can find anywhere free of charge on the internet and go and build your own mining rig. There is one little element of ours that is our own software, and that is that we have another proprietary piece of software in there that lets us choose which coin to mine to get the best return on a day-to-day basis. No one else has that. No one else can do that. But the fact is, we sold more contracts than we expected, quicker than we expected. So we went back to the people who were buying the contracts and said, listen, how can we improve this deal for people? And the answer was, what we could do is, there is a life expectancy of any of the software, any of the hardware that we have. Bearing in mind that these computers, they don't work like your regular home computer. I don't know if you've seen a mining rig, or how many of you have seen a proper mining rig, but a mining rig is a metal frame with a number of motherboards, and usually the motherboards that are controlling it all are graphics boards with graphics cards, because the graphics cards that you use in gaming computers are the most high-powered processors that are available commercially these days, because the calculations needed to run graphics software is phenomenal. So they're the most powerful processors. So they've got graphics processors put onto a motherboard with one CPU that is running the software itself. There's no keyboard to put anything in it. There's no monitor. So this is an open rack of computers with a number of fans. And they're working, if you want to work efficiently, they're working 24/7. They get extremely hot, and they will wear out. The expectancy is that they will probably last for about 4 years. Hence, we came up with 1,200 days. Of course, 1,200 days isn't 4 years. It's 3.25 years, 3 1/3. So the agreement was, as long as that is running and it's not broken down, you will still keep getting paid on it. You might be lucky. You might have a machine that runs for 5 years. You'll still keep getting paid for 5 years. You might be unlucky. You might have one that blows a processor and it caps out at 1,100 days. And we had to put a minimum on it, a safeguarding for people as well. So the safeguard was, what happens if you've got a really, really unlucky one and it craps out after 600 days? Well, that's no good for anybody. We don't want to tell people it's just bust. So we put a guarantee of a minimum of 1,000 days of trading in it. And at 1,000 days, if we'd done these figures that we did earlier, we'd only based it on 1,000 days, you'd still be coming out at $20,000 of profit for a $5,000 investment. So even at 1,000 days, you've got a good deal. Likelihood is you're probably going to get close to 1,400 days. But we've sort of covered our options to make sure you're safe. Does that cover that?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
And with respect to like the equipment that is being used, is my understanding correct that we're just getting a contract and we won't need to use like our own energy resources at like my own home power to do mining? Because I know mining takes a lot of energy and all the electricity and stuff like that.
Your contract covers everything. Your contract covers cost of hardware, technicians who install it. It covers housing it in a secure unit, because you don't want to have something like this in your home.
Right.
Because if you've got something like this in your own home and thieves know where it is, you're a target. So this is in 2 secure locations, one in Romania, one in Iceland. The reason the locations were chosen was because the power costs there are extremely cheap. And as you said, Horace, power is extremely expensive, and these are very, very power consuming, power thirsty machines. So the cost of actually running them, the cost of any maintenance, everything else, everything is covered by the $599 or $1,099 or which contract you choose. Everything is included. Once you've paid for your contract, you have nothing else to pay out.
Sounds good.
Any other questions from anyone? Is that just one? Is that just one $5,000 contract?
That was one $5,000 contract that I showed in the example, Jello.
Yeah.
We had a guy on our Monday Momentum call, not this Monday gone, but the Monday before that. And I really shouldn't say, but I can't remember the guy's name. But he's one of our distributors from Peru. And I will find his name and we'll see if we can find a recording anywhere from you of what this guy said. But he's a young man from Peru, lives in the USA, and he's going out and he's targeting people who are interested in crypto mining. And he's starting conversations with people on Facebook and just talking to them purely about crypto. And he's talking to people who are saying to him, listen, I don't want to buy one of these contracts. I want to buy lots of them. He's talking to people who are putting $20, $50, $100,000 into our crypto contracts. Now, you're not going to trip over people like that. He's going out looking for them. He's making a point of trying to find those people. And because he's been doing it now for a few months, he's made the breakthrough. So he's found a few people who, A, have the wherewithal to do it, B, are happy with crypto as a concept, and they're spreading the word to their friends as well. So now he's finding a lot of them. And he is making a boatload of money just in commissions from selling crypto. But of course, every time he sells crypto, he's also signing these guys up as distributors. And as he's signing these guys up as distributors, they're buying more crypto for themselves. They're telling their friends about it, and he's selling more. And he's rank advancing on a month-to-month basis, just selling crypto. Wealth generators, when I first saw wealth generators, Simon first spoke to me about crypto. And he just said to me, we've got this thing that's, do you know Bitcoin? It's a bit like that. And that's as much as Simon knew about it. Now, my personal view of Bitcoin when I first heard of wealth generators was, I'd heard of it, but I didn't know what it was. I heard of it when it first came out. Someone had told me it was digital money. I thought it was something similar to PayPal. And I figured I already got PayPal. Why do I need Bitcoin? And I never looked into it. I wish I had looked into it, because if you bought $100 of Bitcoins back in 2011 when they first launched, today, even at a down price right now, you still have something approaching $3 million for a $100 investment back then. But the fact is, it's still going crazy. As much as Bitcoin is going down right now at the moment, Ethereum is down right now at the moment. These are the forces of the market, because Bitcoin is down, Ethereum is down, Light is down, the dollar is down, the Dow Jones is down, the FTSE foreign exchange, the FTSE stock market in London is down. The whole of the markets are down right now. And what happens after they fall down? They always bounce back, and they always bounce back to more and more than they were before. So yeah, we're in what financial experts are calling a bear market right now. But what follows a bear market is always, without exception, it is always a bull market. Things always turn around and make more money. So don't be worried about the fact that things are down at the moment. They will come back. Buy one of these contracts and you've got 3.25 years straight off bat, at least 3.25 years before your machine has stopped making money. And in those 3.25 years, your 22 Ethereum coins that you're likely to have from a single contract are probably going to be worth tens of thousands and possibly hundreds of thousands of dollars. And I'll tell you now, I've made a firm plan as far as I'm concerned, and Leslie has the same plan in her mind as well, of what happens with our commissions as we're being paid from wealth generators, because we start off with a $500 contract. But just because you've got a $500 contract doesn't mean that you stuck to one, that's your lot. You can maybe trade up to 5,000. No, no, no. You can have as many contracts as you want. And both of us have decided our plan is the first $500 of our commissions each month buys a new crypto contract. 3 years down the line, that means that the pair of us will have 30 plus crypto contracts each. Excuse me. A lot of you guys are a lot younger than me. This is my pension plan, guys. This is going to make sure that when the day comes when I've had enough, and that's probably never going to happen because I'm greedy and I like the sound of my own voice too much. But should the day ever come, this is my pension plan. And I think for each and every one of us, it probably will be too. Any other questions?
It's my understanding that Litecoin is being considered for this for crypto as well. Is that correct? I saw something about that.
I haven't heard.
Okay.
At this moment in time, what we're mining is
Ethereum.
Ethereum,
Yep.
Ethereum Classic, Monero, and Dash.
Okay.
Litecoin, I don't know. Two of the biggest other ones around are Litecoin and Ripple. I can't say
Bitcoin.
that. Don't say that. I can't even edit that out either. You better laugh about it. Okay. Litecoin, Ripple or Dash are the two big players. I don't know at this moment in time whether the company's going to mine those, whether they'll find it beneficial to do those. But if they do, I'm sure it's only a software tweak to add those into it as well.
Right.
At some points in time, you
yep.
decide which ones you're focusing on. But as anything, any business will consider at some points in time, they will decide if one looks better than another, they may drop one in favor of another. They may choose that they're just going to have 4 as their balance, but these 4 are better than that 4. So whatever it's going to be.
Okay, awesome.
Anything else from anyone?
No, I don't have any more questions. No.
No.
It's still a bit too far out there for me. You know, I know Simon Brooks was on about finding those people. What you mentioned, that guy who just found people to sell cryptocurrency to. I remember Simon Brooks telling us about that a couple of weeks back.
Yep, he did. Yeah,
that's right. So
the reality of it is, Chel, don't worry about it right now. As ever, you've got a fallback, and the fallback is if you ever come across someone who sounds positive, maybe has some questions, and you don't have the answers, you always have the same thing to fall back on, and that is you just turn around and say to them, I don't know the answer to that, but I can find out for you. Let me put you in touch with my upline.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what upline is. Yeah?
I understood it a bit better this time round.
Good.
The breakdown of it, tell you the truth, yeah. I found it very, very interesting, that part.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, this, along with last week's call, which last week I haven't had, this week I've managed to get all of our personal tragedies out of the way. I have no more funeral content. So that means last week's video is going to go up in a couple of days, as is this one. And as I put these up, these videos are going to be here for you to call back on and look at any time that you want. And we're going to just keep adding to these videos week in, week out, covering different matters. So as long as it's sinking a little bit more, Chella, that's great. It's going to be there for you to go back and look at it again.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes.
You can listen to it as many times as you need. Okay, guys. Well, if there's nothing else, then if that's the case, we're going to wrap it up for the moment. And we're going to say good night for tonight. This call will be here every Sunday at the same time.
Right.
If there is a subject that you want me to cover that I haven't already covered, or a subject that I have covered and you're still not sure about and you need to get it clear in your head, then just let me know and I will be happy to add anything at all and cover anything that you need. Now, if that means going through how to originally make contacts, role-playing calls, anything you need me to do, I'm happy to do it. For the moment, however, I'm going to wrap it up. I'm going to stop the recording right now. We'll put it up live. So good night, everybody. Speak to you soon.